Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen. If you're new here, I'm an artist and designer and ceramicist. I guess that kind of falls under the artist and designer umbrella, but still a new hat. But not really a new hat because I've kind of been doing this for a long time. I actually got introduced. Wow, I actually never talked about how I got into ceramics. Okay, now's a good time for a little small tangent. Relevant tangent though. I actually was first introduced to ceramics in high school, which was many, many years ago. And I took it in 11th grade. I still remember my ceramics teacher, and she was the best. We did hand building stuff, and I had always wanted to do the wheel, but we just never got to that level. So that was my first introduction. Took a few years off, but I always was interested and curious about it. Then I took some classes at some local studios here and there. And then I found some longer length classes that were like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something like that. So I always have been interested. When I went to college, I wanted to do ceramics as a minor. My mom was not having that, but that's okay. And then now we're here. I am finally a member at a studio, so I kind of have 24/7 access, which is amazing. I have as much time as I want to explore and play and just have fun. Back on track. So this ceramics thing is not really new to me. I have always loved playing with clay. I wasn't always doing wheel throwing, but I have done courses with wheel throwing. And if you've seen my latest videos, I've been posting more about doing things in the studio and studio vlogs and ceramics vlogs and all of that stuff. And it's not that I'm neglecting my painting practice. It's that I want to extend that into 3D form. So my abstract painting style, I want to have my abstract ceramic style too. And I want it to live under one universe. That's the ultimate goal. I talk more about how I'm extending that into 3D form and what ideas I'm working on later on in the video when I get to the studio. I also just recently applied to my first ceramics exhibition, so fingers crossed we get that. It's a pretty ambitious goal in a short amount of time, but I think I can do it. I'm supposed to be doing 15 pieces, including one large scale piece, and I have about a month and a half. So far, I have 3 pieces bisqued, 1 piece blew up in the kiln. I have 2 pieces that are drying. Actually, no. I have 6 pieces that are drying. Yeah, I could do this. Okay, I'm going to get this done. Even if we don't get this exhibition, hopefully we will, but even if we don't, I still want to build this collection and have it as my debut collection, which would be really fun. And maybe we can use it for something else. Maybe I can get another grant and do my own solo exhibition. We'll see. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas, but let's get to the studio and start working. since I started doing more ceramics and pottery stuff, I've been trying to figure out a way how to kind of extend my abstract painting style into ceramics. And I think I might have found it. I had this idea to trace the shapes of the pools of color that form in my paintings from watercolor and do that on slabs of clay. And then I just decided to add a cylinder so it's kind of functional. So that led me to these. So this shape is one of the shapes that you can find in my painting. And it's not like you can look at one of my paintings and say, oh, I know exactly which one that's from. But it's kind of the general shape that forms. And I used that and I created this one. This was, I think, the first one that I did, which was plain. This was the first idea. And then I decided that I wanted to add some texture of some sort. So I did this one and I added these balls, and then I did another one like it, just shorter. And I actually really like it because it's a functional piece. It could be a vase, it could hold pencils, it could hold something, but it's also like a design piece. It's abstract, which is my style. And then when I was thinking about it more, I'm like, oh, these balls, because I focus a lot on nature as my inspiration, these balls could be like the buds of flowers. Because if you saw my last video where I did the vase, the flower vase, I did the flowers in a similar pattern, and those are obviously blooms, and these could be the buds. So I think I'm going to run with that idea and continue to make pieces like this. I also made one that had like a bowl on top, but unfortunately, I think because there was air trapped in the bottom, I didn't put a hole in it. It exploded in the kiln. So now I know, and I have to remake that one. And then, because I want to apply for this, I already did apply, but because I want to hopefully show work in this exhibition, and regardless if I get into this one or not, I still want to build a collection. I have been kind of sketching out some other ideas for what I could do. And I created 4 incense holders using this as the base and then like one of the balls, and then the incense kind of sticks out of that. I'll show a picture. So that's one idea. And then I have to remake the one that exploded. And then I want to kind of do something similar like this, but instead of the buds, do the blooms. So it kind of mimics the flower vase that I did. So that's all that I have to work on for the next couple of months, because this show is April. I haven't heard back yet, but fingers crossed. So that's kind of going to be my focus for a while coming to the studio. The next thing I need to figure out though is how I'm going to glaze it, which is why these have been sitting bisque for so long, because I cannot figure out. I was waiting for the test house to come back, and they're back finally. But I don't know how I want to glaze it. First impressions of this black timber, it's like a satin. It's not as glossy as the other ones, but I kind of like it. I was kind of put off by it at first because I wasn't really expecting it to be like this, but I actually think I like it, and I might do something like this. I also do like this peppered plum. I love this. And I have 2 mugs that I just got back from Bisque, so I think I'm going to do that in this. Maybe the green for these. Or I could do palladium, which is the metallic shiny one. That would be kind of cool. But I don't want to do all of them like that. And I don't know if that would go well with one of these other ones that I decide to use, because it's obviously a collection. They have to be cohesive. So that's what's on my brain, but I have time to think about how I want to glaze them. So until then, I will just continue to make them. But it's so funny how this is bisque and it's like pink, and you can kind of see the speckles
Oh, well, let's go through the process. This is the raw clay. It's brown, and you don't really see the speckles until it starts drying. And then this is bisque, which is pink, and you kind of see the speckles. And then this is after a glaze firing at the higher temperature. It's so cool. Anyhow, let's get to work. So these are the shapes that I cut out, and then the balls for the buds, and then it sticks out, and then it's angled so that any ash or anything falls on the plate, hopefully. I'm wondering if I made them too big though, the holes. I know they're gonna shrink, but I don't know, we'll see.